Okay, so next part of our playthrough, and we go to the garage again, and we're gonna drive another fast boy. Let's get in our R390. I promised that I would drive this car at some point, and it's time to fulfill that. One thing I think I'm gonna get is tires, not a turbo, tires. Doing what 10-year-old me used to do. Before we go in, let me just check if we had mileage on this car already or if this is brand new out of the box. This is brand new. No oil change needed. No power upgrades. We're going right to endurance. And we're getting a lot of these done, and I think what's next is, given this is a night stream, let's do special stage, Route 11. This is Gran Turismo 3. So anyway, this is a no limits endurance pace 500,000 credits, which is a lot. It's one of the highest paying races in the whole game. And, you know, that's pretty topical. I haven't seen a race paying 500,000 guaranteed. Definitely not in a modern game, that's for sure. So anyway, this is a 50 lap race. And, that's pretty much it. Be against a mix of prototypes, and I didn't even look at who the opponents are. We got a 77B, a GT1, and myself, so that's the big three. That's really all we're going to be looking for. So let's get right into this. So today was a rough day for Gran Turismo. And because what happened to Gran Turismo 7 today? We got an update, which Gran Turismo 7 was already having a kind of a rocky week because people are starting to figure out how the game's economy works. Jeez, Corvette, chill out. Yeah, 500k in GT7, a man can dream. And, you know, with all the bugs that have been around since release, and, you know, the debate around the credit payouts in the Legendary dealership, you know, a big question of what's the deal with the game? And we had an update last night. And when that update went live, Polyphony almost immediately, waiting for a dive bomb. No dive bomb. Polyphony almost immediately took down the servers because they said there was a fatal flaw with the new update. But before they pulled the servers, they dropped the patch notes. And the biggest thing to come out of the patch notes is they reduced the payments of all of the grind races in the game. So that includes the 3-minute Fisherman's Rancha rally race, which was the fastest way to earn money. It was about 1.8 million credits per hour if you drove all clean and did it efficiently. And now it's somewhere around 850,000 per hour. And that's one of the lowest paying, you know, credits per hour considering the cost of the cars in the game by a long shot. All of it is just to promote the microtransactions. By the way, game-wise, I think this is the first time I've ever seen the AI Zonda race car lead a race. I don't know if that's just a quirk with this endurance, but these Group C cars aren't dominating like they usually do. Zonda's doing quite nice. So yeah, all of that pent-up anger or doubts that, you know, we were thinking about in the community all came out today. It has been an absolute bloodbath on the Gran Turismo Twitter page and Kaz's Twitter page. Because the servers have been down for a whole day pretty much. Polyphony has not made any statements since about how the game's doing, if the servers are going to come back, or what they're exactly doing. Jeez, that's a dive bomb from the 77B. And the other thing people are realizing now, which I don't get because it was there since launch day, is the game is always online. Online is required. The servers are required to play the single player. I guess people didn't realize that, but yes. It's an always online game. And people are really frustrated with that. Understandably, I think it's ridiculous that the game is online required for single player, and the game doesn't even work. You get on the inside maybe the Zonda. Can't believe I'm racing a Zonda with this R390 for the lead. That usually never happens, especially with the 77B and GT1 in the same race. Yet here we are. The Zonda also has a pretty large lead compared to the 77B as well. Oh lordy coming. Anyway, let's finally grab the lead. If you do the math, this is going to take about 100 minutes. About an hour 40. More or less. This was originally the special stage Route 11 all-night endurance from the first game. So yeah, GT7's in a rough place right now. And it brings the whole question of, you know, why did the game have to be this way? Because the actual racing in the game itself was pretty good. With just the quality of life tweaks, you know, a better game economy, offline capabilities, not leaving cars to, you know, time limited fear of missing out type of stuff. That's all they need to change to make the game a classic. But fortunately, profits, cash is king, money, all goes down the drain. And this is the day the GT community will probably never forget. And it's sad because I want the game to do well, but I mean, next time we hear from Polyphony, it better be a freaking apology. They're gonna have to do a lot to gain our trust back. Did you not see the GT7 clip from last week that got 3,500 views in like a day? You have no idea what you're talking about. I swear, every single time I stream, there's always one of you people who are like, hey, you need to play asphalt because you need to be successful. And it's like, guys, you're missing the point of YouTube in of itself. I don't believe you actually ever watched my channel. And yeah, Rio, the content and the online connectivity are the main problems. I mean, keeping the save offline would just be a really good start. By the way, it looks like the 77B passed the Zonda somewhere. Looks like the tires are starting to kick in. This is one strange Tokyo Expressway. It is. I wish they brought this track back. it does kind of look like complex string in a way, some of the curves. A lot of the tight areas are like that. This jack would be really fun on a wheel though. It is a little awkward on a controller, I admit, especially with like a 700 horsepower prototype. Looks like we're 10% through the race, just in 9 minutes, so we'll take 90 something minutes, maybe 95 minutes with pit stops. Maybe it looks like we could 2-stop this race, perhaps. Let's see how long these tires last. 2 or 3 stops. What's it looking like? The Zonda pits, the Achilles heel. That means the GT1 and the 77B will surely get ahead of it. And that was fun while it lasted. The young boy. Actually, I've been following GT7's Reddits, GT Planets, Twitter accounts. It's been a wild day. I mean, I didn't play the game because the servers are still offline and you still can't play the game. To no point. I had to work today anyway. But, you know, it's just frustrating. Yes, the first F1 race is this Sunday. You know, I completely forgot about F1. Today, a huge bombshell just dropped. Is Seb Vettel tested positive for COVID and is going to miss this weekend already. The first casualty of the F1 season. And that means Nico Hülkenberg is taking his spot for this race. So I'm going to say he's going to win the race. No, he's going to get 4th place. We all know that. And, I mean, who do I think is actually going to win? I think it's going to be either Leclerc or Verstappen. I don't think Mercedes is going to be a powerhouse this weekend. I could be really wrong though. I mean, we'll find out tomorrow during free practice who looks good. And then qualifying is until Saturday. I do think Nico will beat Stroll, even though he's never driven the 2022 car before. Ever. But I will say that's probably a really good indicator to see how good Nico is compared to Stroll. But it's going to be Hülkenberg and Magnussen on the grid again. I never thought I would see that ever again. But those two are made for each other, right? But yeah, that Seb news was a complete, like, minor blip compared to what happened in GT7 today. And yet, that was the huge news in the F1 paddock. I mean, obviously, I hope Seb gets well soon, and I hope that when he comes back to the sport, he will be fully recovered and not have any of that long COVID or anything. It is a bummer because I want to see him race. And I want to see him really tackle these new cars and get some podiums and all that stuff, get some wins. Get that 2022 title, of course. But I think if any team is looking scary right now, it's Ferrari. And I don't mean like be a super overhyped Ferrari fan like in 2019, but they seem to have their shit together. Red Bull looks a lot better than I was anticipating. And Mercedes certainly looks up there too, so it's looking like it's going to be a three-way fight like in 2018, sort of. But hopefully, you know, it materializes more. And then we also have George Russell in the Mercedes, you know. That's someone to look out for this weekend. Yeah, I think Nico's only going to do this weekend and maybe Saudi if Seb doesn't test negative immediately. There just needs to be more teams in F1 so we can have more drivers on the grid. There's too many seats that are being wasted and not enough seats that could just be, shown on the grid. Yeah, McLaren doesn't look like it's a front runner this year. It looks like it will be top of the midfield again. I don't think it's going to be what we thought it would be at the end of last year. They still have some cracks in their plan. I do think Lando will have another great season, but does McLaren have the car to back that up? And does Ricciardo have it in him to back it up? What happened in GT7? They put out an update today, and that update doesn't work. So they shut down the servers. But since the game is always online, the game is literally unplayable. It is offline right now. And it's been that way for almost a full 24 hours. The game is dead in the water right now. But just before the game went dead in the water, they released the patch notes, and it turns out they nerfed the payments on all of the grind races. So now it takes, 17 hours or something stupid like that to grind to get to the current most expensive car, the Jaguar XJ13. In the previous update, that time was cut in half. So you know what I'm doing right now? It's something you can't do in GT7, which is play the career mode. Driving an R390 on an endurance event on Special Stage Route 11. You can't do that in GT7 at all. Do you believe the Haas hype? I feel like they were doing glory runs in testing. They looked fast because, they were, trying to get the headlines or whatever, right? They dropped Mazepin. But I don't think they've suddenly come top of the midfield after having last year. A disaster. Yeah. Look at this, the American cars are all hanging out around each other. But I think that's because the GT40 has not pitted yet, and the C5R has. We still have a long way before we need to pit. If I can make it to lap 17, that would be perfect for a 2-stop. I think Haas is still in the backmarker territory. It might surpass Alfa Romeo and Williams, but we'll have to see how that turns out. When you're in a backmarker team, the most important thing you can do is just keep seizing opportunities that present themselves. Last year that was Williams for the most part, sometimes Alfa Romeo. And Haas only got a couple of opportunities the whole season, the biggest being at Hungary, and even then Schumacher couldn't hold off a damaged Verstappen and a damaged Ricciardo. And then Baku, where everybody was retiring and dropping out, Haas still couldn't handle them much. Your glasses broke F. If they kept Mazepin. Maybe get some contacts. I know they're a bit pricier, but it's harder to break them. And if you get the right set, they're disposable. They're one a day. That's not a huge deal if like you miss a day. So I think the new Forza Motorsport will be better than GT7, yes or no? I have no idea, man. I mean, GT7 in its current state right now? I think yeah, for sure. But that's kind of unfair to say because GT7 is currently offline and broken at the moment. But it's hard to say because the way games are made these days, you can't count on anybody to do it right anymore. It's sad, but the best of studios have fallen to this rush the game, don't care about the bugs, fix them later, push now, apologize later, charge people for what should be free. It's completely ridiculous, and I don't know if anybody's really safe from any of that. It sucks, but that's just the state of the industry today. Someone's shooting off fireworks outside, I think. Either that or my neighborhood's getting shot up, but I think it's fireworks. I believe it's fireworks, but I guess it's St. Patrick's Day, right? Still in the States, it's 11 p.m. on St. Patrick's Day, but I wouldn't have thought it was a fireworks kind of day. Well, I feel like today, you know, is the hardest day because people are probably overreacting and they'll probably be back next week. But it's definitely a hard pill to swallow. You know, when you think about it, there has never been a worse day for the franchise. Even like GT6 and Sport that had their flaws, they were never completely broken like this. Ever. And neither of those games economies were truly predatory. I just swoop lapped the GT1 right there. Oh, thanks for the bump, man. But yeah, it's now just kind of solidified the thought that modern games completely suck these days. Brand new games that come out. It seems like every game these days that get released is buggy, unfinished, has a battle pass or something to get more money out of you. Will charge it for customization or even pay to win stuff in a $70 game. Have some deluxe edition that you know, is not really worth the extra $20 or so. Jeez, that's a dive bomb into the barriers. I mean, GT7 already had its launch sales from when it came out 2 weeks ago. But definitely today is going to hurt the people who were on the fence, you know, since it came out. They're not going to buy it. Or if they are, they're going to buy it used when it's a lot cheaper than it currently is. We got 10 people here today. How y'all doing? You'll have a good night. Good St. Patty's. got here, the 77B. I mean, I just hope that the games that do get released are competent, you know? That's too much to ask for. Sad that I have to ask that. I would have thought Polyphony would be one of those AAA studios that, you know, only puts out quality. And it's not like, you know, they completely neglected GT7. There's a ton of Easter eggs and small details and little things they did that are genuinely great in that game, that are just ruined by the microtransactions and just decisions that I believe Sony told them to make. I just can't believe that's something that like Kaz would push. He poured like his blood, sweat, and tears into this series, and why would he just throw it all away on $20 credit packs? 77B time. Look at this drag race. He can outpace me in a straight line. Yeah, I'm about to lap him. Bonk. Did we already lap the Zonda? I don't even know. It was in first place, so I think we did already lap the Zonda. Yeah, Forza Motorsport has been dead in the water for 4 years now, something like that. In fact, there's no Forza Motorsport game on the Xbox store at all, not even 7. And that will be the case for another year and a half. Or longer if it gets delayed again. So, you know, it's, I don't know. Turn 10's got a lot to do. I will say Microsoft has the high ground right now because all they need to do is just drop a trailer and just promise whatever GT messed up, and they will convince the entire fan base to switch over. Yeah, my enthusiasm dropped. It's crazy. I feel like I've been in a downward spiral for this channel since GT7 came out. If you go back to a couple weeks ago on launch day, I was so happy. And then like the week after I was like concerned, and now it's just pain. Full pain. Yeah, we're already a third of the way through this endurance. It's not the worst. This is certainly not the longest endurance in the game. Yep, but when did Forza 4 come out? 11 years ago? See, that's the thing, is all these games are in the past. What sucks is that these games that were made 10 years ago are the last of the games that weren't like ruined by modern greed. And those games had stuff like paid DLC and updates and their own quirks with online. And their online services have been long gone, but it's sad that a modern game just does not hit the same anymore. Because money. And I get that video games are expensive to make. They take a long time because they're heavily detailed. You know, assets aren't just like a little squiggly line in MS Paint anymore. They're fully modeled 3D, have animations, all that jazz. But, there's gotta be a line between, you know, making a game on a reasonable schedule and, you know, just rushing it not checking for bugs or quality testing or anything like that, and just trying to squeeze money through other means. This is a Nissan R390 GT1 1998. Not really 77B in any way. The only similarity is it's Japanese, and it made it to a podium in Le Mans. I think this finished third in 1998. Whereas 77B won it. Different year, 91. But it's a longer car, different sound, different engine, different results. This car is only well known because of Gran Turismo. This is something that GT7 has failed to do. GT, as a franchise, popularized so many cars. It's just crazy to think about this. If you think about the Suzuki Escudo, what does everybody tell you? Gran Turismo 2 and 3, fastest car ever. If someone talks to you about the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 5, they go to Gran Turismo 2000. Someone talks to you about the 787B, when was that car first featured in the game? Gran Turismo 3. The Nissan Skyline, and in general, like, Fast and Furious became popular because of the car craze of Gran Turismo having those cars in them. Like, that's probably the reason why R34s are so expensive these days too. It's because when we were kids, we were playing the old Gran Turismos, driving all these cars, and now, you know, we're in our 20s and 30s with disposable income, and we can finally afford some of these cars. Lapping the court again. You know, we could probably one stop, but I'm not going to. It's not worth it. Yes, in Minecraft in the next stream. Well, Gran Turismo's port, there's not that much to do. Yes, it works, but I already gave that game a send-off. I don't feel like playing it. Not that much different from GT7. You know, when GT7 does come back, I still have to do the licenses and missions and the circuit experience, which I was hoping to do some streams with that, because those are always interesting to do. But you know, I can't play the game right now because the servers are down. I was hoping to do another stream of that at some point. I think this weekend we'll do another GT3 endurance. Because depending on what happens with the game tomorrow, we'll find out if Polyphony makes a statement. If the game is still not back, I can't play it. And whatever happens in this emergency hotfix, we'll hear what they have to say. But if I don't like it, then I'm not going to play it. GT7 is a Nog champ. Today was not a Pog champ day for GT7. I mean, I hope you didn't sell GT Sport. I mean, for me, all it does is give me an excuse to play Gran Turismo 3 again and keep knocking away at this game. Every endurance night we do gets us closer to the end. You know, we have some actual content to go through. GT7 only lasts about 30 hours. We are 85 hours into this playthrough and we're not even done yet. We're not even close to done. In terms of number of races, yeah, we're close to done. So in terms of how much time is left in this game, there's still a lot. Yeah. Cookeh Chrome eating the McLaren brake discs. Yeah, every new game these days is buggy, it's unfinished, it feels rushed. There's some battle pass or something to completely milk money. Battle pass, VIP pass, legend pass, whatever you want to call it. I'm just calling it the battle pass, you all know what I mean. It's a season-based model where you grind the game and get like XP or something to get some stupid reward. I think I'm going to pit on this lap. Because I'm just bored and I want a new set of tires. Not because I desperately need them, but I don't want to do the one stop. Yeah, GT3 and GT4 look so good right now. Don't know if you can hear Turbo barking in the background, but he's not happy at the fireworks. Yeah, the car's just lifted up for no reason. Just cause. It has not been a fun day for Gran Turismo. You mean the Spider-Man PS4, PS5 game? Yeah, get the if you want the whole spiel, get the Miles Morales Special Edition because you get Miles Morales and the complete Game of the Year, whatever, the full edition of the 2018 Spider-Man game. And both of those are fantastic. I hate to say this and put another developer on the spot, but Insomniac is like the last developer who I have full trust in. The very last developer. They made Spyro, they made Spider-Man games, they made Ratchet and Clank, and they have always been, you know, really loved like studio. They're all about vibes. They've never done a predatory pricing game. ever. They have paid DLC in like their Spider-Man games, but it's all fair, and the DLC goes on sale all the time. Game of the Year edition is like $20 anyway. It's pretty cheap, and you get a game with a great story, great graphics, great gameplay. I can only recommend Insomniac's catalog confidently. Thing is, they're really good at single player games. They did that Resistance Shooter series, which I've never played, admittedly, and I hear it's good. It's just, that's a PS3 shooter. It's not really up my alley. And James, I just read your thing that said Spider-Man PS5 is the only, like, true game. But the thing is, people were complaining about Miles Morales when it came out because it was a pretty short game. And I do agree that when it came out, it was $50, not $70, but $50. It felt like a pretty short game. It was pretty short. The story was only about, like, 8 hours or something like that. I played through the whole game twice to get the Platinum Trophy and, get 100%. And I think that took me less than 20 hours to get everything done in that game. It was pretty short. But considering the PS5 was brand new when it came out, it was a launch title, that was pretty good. And then there was a Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, also from Insomniac, that came out last year, and I think it was a good game. Not the best one in the whole series, but definitely a good game. And it used the PS5 controller pretty well. Controls were really good. Shooting and stuff was great. Story is a bit cheesy, but not the worst I've ever seen. 2016 reboot was far worse. See, there's like two camps in the GT hate camp right now. There's the fans and the haters, and I know it sounds weird, but there's a lot of people who are really hating on GT for the wrong reasons. And then there's the crowd who is justified because of the changes they made in 7 compared to other games. And, I hope Polyphony listens to the right crowd. That's just how it is, right? That's the same thing for, every video game. It's the people who genuinely want the game to improve and the people who just want to troll and hate on it and spin on it for some reason. Maybe they have a simp thing for their competitor, or they just hate that everyone talks about it or something like that. But that's just how it is. The flame. Yeah, literally, it took one day, really 1 week, but it took one day essentially to tarnish the last 15 years of the franchise. It's quite amazing. It's really like a house of playing cards that they've built, or a giant Jenga tower. That's the best analogy. It's a Jenga tower because they can take out a couple pieces and the tower will stay intact for the most part. They can knock out the wrong one and it all comes collapsing down. So, yeah. Not good. Yeah, of course I knew this car was in Le Mans. It came in third, I think, in 1998. Didn't win it, but it did pretty good, considering everything. Yeah, Kim, they absolutely spaghettied. Yeah, I stole that term from another YouTuber, but I still think it's a pretty good analogy. They dropped the spaghetti pretty hard. You know, it's not even dropping the spaghetti. You ever see that scene from The Office where Kevin has the chili? It's that. That's the scene of GT right now. It's the chili scene. Don't know what I'm talking about? Just type into YouTube Kevin chili. That's all you need to know. The meme community is probably completely hyped right now. Yep, the Mercedes CLR, driven by Mark Webber, who in F1 also had an airborne incident 10 years later. Kinda crazy, his luck. But he's alive and well. So I don't know if that was the first time the GT40 pitted, but I just saw he went into the pits on the little screen. Airborne car. About halfway through the race, and yeah, looks like we're going to finish this in about an hour and a half, give or take. Laps GT40 again on pit exit. Also, we did a 144 on that 25. I didn't even realize that. Nice. I don't know if we can get a 143, but I wasn't really pushing for lap times that much. Big slide. Just look at that grip compared to the Corvette. I did see that there's an experimental NASCAR that is entering Le Mans next year. Oh wow, 144.6, nice. Yeah. That's a shock. It'll be interesting to see how that goes though. And we run on hybrid fuel, I believe. I'd like to know what is broken about GT7. The player's spirits. Hey Mark, how you doing? That's the best way to describe it. Essentially, there was all the cracks of the game that we figured out last week, which was the cars are way too expensive, the races don't pay that much, and they shove microtransactions down your throat to try to get you to buy credits. That was the problem last week. And also just the fact that there's so many cars that are just available for a very limited time. It feels like a mobile game in that respect. And two things happened today. Last night they announced, an update, which was, everyone thought it was going to be for the bug fixes, which is, great. Then the patch happens overnight. And almost immediately they shut down the servers because they claimed that, oh nice, 143. They claimed that there was a fatal error in the update and they had to take down the servers to address that. And the servers have been down for almost 24 hours now. Since the game is online only, that means that without the servers, you cannot play the game at all. You can't launch it. You can't do the career mode, the solo single player. So that's problem number one. People are bummed out about that. But, that's just, that's what you get when you have an online only game. Problem number two, which is the bigger one, is given what you just said about they don't pay enough credits and the cars are too expensive and not available enough, for a brief moment, the patch notes dropped in that short period when the update was out. And the grinding races, the races that you made all the money from, the most money from, you made from like 1.7, 1.8 million an hour. All of the grinding races, there's like 10 or 15 of them, had their credit payouts cut in half or worse. And now the best money making went from like 1.8 million an hour to 850,000 an hour, with the prices and stuff of the cars are the same. Jeez, that Mazda just went all in. So this is an effort to push microtransactions. And that is what completely outraged the community. Understandably, I'm pissed off too at that. Because why do you have a game that pushes collecting cars and then make it so difficult and so monotonous to grind money and then actually collect the cars you're pushing us to collect? It is ridiculous. It feels like a mobile game that we paid $70 to $90 for. And it sucks because this is Polyphony, a studio that is known to make quality content. And they just completely dropped the ball on launch. And just doubled down with this update. And just for reference about how bad the grind is. Okay, how I was saying like, oh, you could make like 800,000 an hour. That sounds not too bad for credits. Until you figure out that in the legendary dealership, which a car only appears for about 4 or 5 days, the cars could be as expensive as 20 million credits. Right now, the most expensive car is a Jaguar XJ20 or XJ13, and it is 12 million credits. That takes about 15 hours of grinding the same race over and over again, which is about a 3-minute rally race with the wonky physics. at that. And that's what you end up getting. I chug this before the end of the straight. I can. I didn't really grind any of the payout races in GT7 because I didn't have the time to do that. I mean, I tried out that Fisherman's Ranch race a couple times to just see what people meant, and yeah, I see how it was pretty boring, but it paid pretty well. But, you know, I've been saving my credits until the Mazda 7B comes in the shop, but now I'm, like, wondering, like, geez, like, what's it gonna end up actually costing when it shows up in the dealer? I have no idea. And there's no like seasonal events or login bonus or anything like that that GT5 and 6 had to give you extra credits. And aside from, you know, those physical issues, there's also the issue that the single player is too short. It seems like they cut content. There should have been 50 menu books when there's only 39 in the game. There's not enough missions, there's not enough career races, some tracks feel unpopulated. There's key series missing. Yeah, exactly. Are you ever gonna get a good racing game? Ever. Are you ever gonna get a good game? Ever. It seems like every single brand new release, no matter what genre it is, unless your name is From Software and you're putting out Elden Ring, that's the only modern example I could think of that disproves this point. But it seems like 95% of all video games that release from a AAA studio are unfinished, they're buggy, they have some battle pass or some predatory pricing on it to milk extra money. They're completely soulless, and they're incredibly boring and dull to play, if not incredibly frustrating to get around. It just sucks. You know, I'm getting the most enjoyment out of this 20-year-old PS2 game. 21-year-old PS2 game almost. I can have a drink with this game. And this will give me more satisfaction than the vast majority of modern video games. The Red Out sequel's coming soon. Well, hopefully those developers are committed to it. I mean, it seems like indie developers are the only developers who still remember how to make a video game. And the reason is because they're not tied to some corporation who's trying to milk profits out. And yeah, Need for Speed I don't think is going to deliver, because EA is still backwards mindseted with, you know, how it wants to do its business model. Just whatever happened in GT7 is something you'd expect from EA or Ubisoft, not Sony and Polyphony. It's truly crazy. Like, I've never played Red Out. I have no idea what that even is, to be honest, man. Is it an indie racing game? Is it something I just haven't come across in all these years? Well, as indie studios get bought out by corporations and stuff, you know, yeah, sooner or later will happen, but the type of people that buy indie games are the type of people looking for some unique experience, you know? And then games like Undertale and Friday Night Funkin' and Shovel Knight, Stardew Valley. I could think of so many of them that like gain massive popularity. Codemasters is not the best group to have. Criterion, aren't they working on Battlefield or something right now? Didn't the last Battlefield game do like absolutely horrible? The tribute to F-Zero. Oh yeah, so it's like a space racer, not space racer, but like a futuristic racer. Zero gravity, whatever. Yeah. You know, like a game like Distance, you know, that's an indie driving game that is incredible. But, it's a one-off game. It's not something you'll see a yearly release for. Whereas GT League and GT7, that's the cafe mode, man. That's just what we're dealing with. The reason they're remastering is because the other games are shit. Well, the other reason is because they figured out that if they release the exact same game and make minimal updates, people will still shell out $50 for it, or more. That's the real reason. It's because the budget could be a lot smaller than on a brand new IP that they have to think of something original for. Sonic Frontiers. Isn't that the open world Sonic game? I have no idea what that game's going to be about. Yeah, nostalgia blinds a lot. GT40, I mean, all these AI are just completely pummeling into the walls here. It's ridiculous. There's the GT1 again. Gonna lap him again. We've been driving for about an hour now. And we are about 2/3 of the way there. A little more than 2/3 there. 70%, I'd say. Oh yeah, if GT3 released today, everyone would be all over this game. Yeah, it just bugs me because this game was made by Kaz and all the other GTs. It's not like he forgets how to make a game. He knows what it's like. He has survived numerous console generations. And if you go to Wikipedia and look up the best-selling PlayStation games, for the PS1, 2, and 3, you'll always find the Gran Turismo games at or near the top of the list. GT and GT2 are like number 1 and 3. GT 3 and 4 are like numbers 2 and 3. GT5 is number 2 or 3, something stupid like that. And it's just GT6 and GT Sport that didn't sell as well as their predecessors used to. You couldn't just casually do an endurance. Yes, Kaz is a racing driver. He's done the Nürburgring 24 hours. He knows everything about cars and racing and games. It's not like he's suddenly like some boomer. He's only like 50, I think. He's not even old. What if GT became a mobile game? The roulette tickets are basically packs. Once you finish the cafe mode, there's like nothing to do besides the side content. But side content's just side content. The main game is too short. I saw some Defender, some Sony Coper, who was complaining that, oh, you guys are moaning about GT. GT7 gives you cars so fast. You guys are getting spoiled. And it's like he's completely missing the point that it seems that way is because GT7 is about a 20-hour experience, 20, 30 maybe, of total content, whereas a game like GT4 is literally like 300 or 400 hours. Of course, cars are going to be a bit more spread out because it's so much shorter of a game. And even then, there's more prize cars in GT3, GT4, GT2, 5, 6. And those games all had varying car lists. GT7 is at 424 cars. And about 1/4 of the list is a prize car. And the vast majority of those are cars you can already get in Brand Central that are relatively cheap. And only a handful of the prize cars are something really worth it. The year is 2234 and I'm on lap 3848 out of 4,000. Hey, that's not so bad. It's only like a couple hours to go, maybe. The trick with these endurances is you just gotta book some time and you just gotta hang out and kind of think passively about the race. I mean, I guess this is something you learn with skill over time, and just knowing how to drive comfortably, but I could do this literally all day. I did that GT5 24 hours in Le Mans and all the other endurances, the Scuba 9 hour, Nürburgring 4 hour, all the jazz. I could buckle down and race for hours at a time, driving somewhat consistent pace. So I know of Sonic 06, I've never played it, but I've seen tons and tons of videos about it, reviews, all the jazz. I know there's that fan project you told me about on Discord that like actually fixed the game. Sonic 06, if Sonic 06 came out in 2022, that would just be a regular game release. People would probably say it was a lot better than what people said about it in 2006. Because the bugs are just kind of standard for 2022 instead of something shocking. It's sad, but it's true. You guys know it. You want to do a barrel roll in CT at 300 miles an hour. Well, if you go on a rally track in Gran Turismo 7, you could do a barrel roll. Maybe not the way you'd expect. You're hard wrong about that, because you say it beats the hell out of the Gran Turismo games. None of the Forza games touch GT3, GT4, GT2, or GT5 even. None of them. Absolutely none of them. What happened to GT7 today has nothing to do with what happened to the last 6 releases. Or 7 really, if you count Sport. Gran Turismo is a series full of 8, 9, and 10 out of 10 games. And GT7 is just a game that brings that average down, sadly. GT7 could have been a solid 9 out of 10 with some better quality of life, but come on, you're really gonna say Forza 5 or Forza 7 is better than GT4? Nah, that's not it, Chief. Then I just call you a simp, which call me a simp for being Gran Turismo stan, but fair enough. But have you actually played those games before? There's a reason I don't mind driving 50 laps around GT3's Route 11. Developed by DICE, GT 2042. This is sad. You know, Microsoft is probably going to just straight up buy Gran Turismo at some point as one of their IP purchases and then just port all the team over to Forza. you'll be playing Forza Horizon 27 or something. It'll be in Antarctica or something like that. It'll be the same wheel spins, super wheel spin, the same cringy side stories, getting obsessive amount of money, but hey, you guys could drive 20 different Miatas now. I don't know what's gonna happen with GT7. I mean, right now the game's dead, and today's probably the worst day of GT7. Today is probably the worst day of the whole franchise, and I don't think it can get much worse than this unless they triple down on the microtransactions. But I feel like, I do feel like today, when the servers come back, we're gonna get more than just a message about the servers. I hope that this is the worst of it, and from here on out we can get a promise from Polyphony or something like that they're gonna do better. Something to assure the fans. Anything. I will not come back to the Asphalt franchise. If you think there is an open world map coming to a racing game or a mobile game, that's just wishful thinking, man. Yep, Nico Hulkenberg is back. Talked about it a bit earlier in the stream, but you know, with all the stuff about Gran Turismo, I completely forgot that it's the first F1 weekend, and Seb tested positive for COVID, which means Hulkenberg takes his spot for the weekend. Absolutely chugging water right now. We're on fresh tires. See, with like an open world though, you need to like have the world fully loaded in, and then somehow have the game, you know, spawn everything in. Which I guess, yeah, technology goes a long way. I just feel like that would absolutely murder a battery. Absolutely murder it, and then it would take forever to load it. So unless you're putting an SSD in a phone or something like that, I don't know. I just think that's not something that would come to the next Asphalt game, for instance. My throat's getting sore from all this talking. I mean, I guess something like GTA, which is open world, does exist on mobile. That's open world. I just don't think it's gonna come to Asphalt 10 or anything like that. Spinella. Yeah, I did my 100% platinum run of GT5 last year. I had a blast with it. I played the game for about 5 months, from like the end of 2020 to April 2021, grinding that game to get the platinum trophy, and that was a blast. It took me back to being a kid again. I honestly like thinking maybe not now, maybe not this year, even next year, but at some point I want to see if I can mod a PS3 and then try to replay GT5 all over again with like the online mode brought back. I think that would be something cool to do at some point, because I loved that game. And you can still start that game from scratch, it's just not the same as when the servers were online. Are Mercedes sandbagging? I mean, they probably are, but I think Ferrari's the one that are really sandbagging. They seem to be pretty cool. They're not worried. And I don't think Charles and Carlos are messing around this year. I do think Verstappen's going to be huge again this year, though. I think it's going to be a three-way fight, just like 2018, between Ferraris, Mercedes, and Red Bull. I didn't hit the wall in that corner at all. That was good downforce. Good grip tires, and then I bonked the wall there, losing like 2 seconds. You liked Tried to Survive Season 4? Wow. I haven't watched it yet, but every single thing I've seen online is that it is terrible and over-dramatizes the F1 season, and it just frustrates you if you actually watched the racing. And even if you're a fan of a certain driver who got an episode, they weren't actually represented that well. Like, for instance, they filmed a bunch of Checo content in Mexico that time he got his podium at home, and then didn't even do an episode on him, and instead dedicated an entire episode to hyping up Mazepin and making it the Christian Horner show, never showing people like Alonso or Vettel or Kimi. Like, it just seems like it's a soap opera for people who don't really know what F1 is. And it's like, at that point, like, I'm not even gonna watch it. The only time I watch it is if I'm getting drunk with my friends who watch F1. But I haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. Yeah, Gunther Steiner in his boat. The thing is, like, Gunther Steiner is, like, more known for Drive to Survive than he is for actually his efforts at Haas. So he just tries to put on a show for Netflix. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen all the memes with the Will Buxton, like, if you qualify in first, you're in first place. You beat 19 cars, you win, or something like that. You know, something like that. It's like, do they really have to explain that? Like, are they talking to a toddler? Might as well be. Am I just out of touch? Yeah, we did so hard last year that it's just has just become self-aware. The fake sound effects, the over-dramatization. I don't know if there's another out-of-place Vettel audio cue somewhere. Probably is. It's just ridiculous. And then what Drive to Survive does is it like puts people like it makes people like hate certain characters. I hate to say characters, but that's just what they portray them as. And give them like these fake backstories, and then a bunch of 16-year-olds on Twitter go to their driver Twitter account and freaking bomb them with hate or something. Because, oh, this person wasn't friends with Lando Norris or something, and it's like, what? What is that even based on? And they're real people, you know, not actors. It sucks, but that's just how modern sports is like these days. Everything's sensationalized. I just bonked that corner for the first time this race. Oh no, we lagged. I just saw that. We dropped 800 frames there. So just rambled for nothing, probably. Thanks, Comcast, world's best internet service provider. Oh, it's going back again. We just lost more frames. Oh my god, Comcast, please. What is going on with my internet? Why is it so bad? I'm actually gonna, let's see if I can mitigate this. Are we back? Is it all good? Can OBS stop dropping frames? Can Comcast stop dropping frames? Please? We are so close to the end of this race. So close. It's literally midnight. Why is Comcast having issues? There should be like nobody online right now. dropping again. Ridiculous. I guess I have to deal with it, right? Yeah, when I was a kid, I always drove the... Oops. I'm driving terribly. Reading chat. When I was a kid, I always drove the Red Bull cars because they were just obscenely fast, and it was unfair to drive them in races against the regular AI. But 10-year-old me loved doing that. But see, that's not like... In GT7, you don't have enough races where you can do something like that, where you can just grab one car and just run around freely doing stuff. Oh man, I am bouncing off barriers every time I try to look at chat. Or look at my frame count to make sure that, you know, Comcast isn't doing a Comcast. But you know, how it be. We're almost at the end of this endurance though. So close to the end. See, another 30 frames this drop. That was another second gone. Wow. Does not want me to stream today. I should probably be back up recording. I just don't have the hard drive space to do that. Or the bandwidth on my computer to really do that. Another 200 frames just went out of nowhere. We're just gonna have to deal with that. I know, Comcast has dropped, it tells me 2,267 frames. And every time I peek over, you know, like 10 seconds later, another 200 drop or something like that. You know, it's ridiculous. Soup. Marine. I'm at the soup store. I'm at soup. Hey Snotino, hope you're doing well. It's been a rough day for the GT community, but at least we'll have knocked out another endurance, and we'll be 60% through Endurance League already. Unfortunately for my schedule though, I've left the 4 longest endurances of this game left to do. That would be the 2-hour endurances, Monaco endurance, and the Tokyo endurance, especially that last one takes forever. Why are you finding your clothes at the soup store? I'm at soup. brakes. Don't think this is going to be a 143, but I'm fine with it. Jumpcast decides to catch this. Regardless, we'll have one special stage Route 11 all-night endurance, or whatever it's called. It's essentially the all-nighter from GT1 remade. We now have 4 endurances left, but all 4 of them are over 2 hours long. So we get a nice 500,000 credits, something that I'd never see in GT7, that's for sure. Let's get our thumbnail shot, and he's gonna bonk, and that's gonna be it. Alright. Well, y'all know what time it is. It's prize card time. We did the professional arcade race last stream. I don't want to do the entire arcade league on professional difficulty. That would take like another 20 hours. Regardless, what do we get for winning the special stage Route 11 Enduro? There's some things with wings. Oh yes, that's my favorite NSX, the Arda. No F1 this time, but I will 100% take that. 100%. Yes, just what they like to see. Oh yeah, so yeah. Yeah, this Enduro, that one, are 2-hour Enduros. Everything else is gold. Bring us to GT7 again. Depends if the game works or not. Yeah, here's the Arda NSX. We drove the raid rig not too long ago. Maybe I'll use this for the Tokyo, but I was planning on using something else. I don't know. I love this car, so maybe I should drive it somewhere, but we'll see. Anyway, that's 91.7%. I forget if that jumps up another 0.2 or 0.1. I don't know. Regardless, that's the end of the segment.